Hello and welcome back to the NUEL. We are going to go on to game 2 now. We've just had ACOG versus Manchester Zero. ACOG did win that one with a fairly decisive victory. And we're going to be heading into ACOG versus Nottingham A. Shadow, what are your thoughts on this upcoming game?
Well, that dominant performance from ACOG, I mean, wow, if they've beat the champions, then, Nottingham didn't finish in the best place last tournament. So this should, in theory, on paper, be ACOG's game. However, I know a lot of the people on the Nottingham team, a lot of them are my friends, and they've been practicing hard. They've had a bit of a role swap. Their current AD carry and captain, their previous AD carry and captain, Dan Exo, who is still in the team, has moved over to support. They've got a new AD carry coming in, Chadwick, and their old jungler, ganked by Dong, yes, that is his name, has left the team, and they've got RFI in the jungle now. And all of these people are very, very high ranks. I mean, on paper, they're like the same sort of ranks as Manchester ACOG, so they should be a really scary team. A fairly new team to the Super 8, so as we said, these teams haven't played before, but I know they have great potential, so I think it'll be closer than it does look on paper.
Yeah, and I think as well, all of these players on the Nottingham team are really, really strong individual players. And I mean, I don't know if any of you guys watched the North versus South game. Sorry, I forgot the name then. North versus South games we had. Artesh made some incredible plays during that. So I'll be very, very excited to watch this Stern Rowboat versus Artesh in the mid lane game. Artesh, obviously, Diamond Division 3 currently. Stern Rowboat, Diamond Division 5. So it's going to be a really, really good mid laner.
Yeah, Artesh was the mid laner in our North versus South All-Stars game as well. So a lot of fans for Artesh, and we've seen in that game as well as his other games that he is a very high-skilled individual player. He plays a lot of Ziggs, a lot of LeBlanc, and a lot of Nidalee and Ari as well. So have to see. I definitely expect them to actually target ban some of these picks from Artesh here because of how strong he is. Would you be surprised if we see some mid laners banned away?
I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one to try and work out because Artesh he plays very similar mid laners to Stern Rowboat, so it's going to be hard to ban him out without banning themselves out, if you see what I mean.
I think Stone Robo's main champions are Ziggs, Gragas, Kayle, Orianna, like a lot of team-oriented sort of champions with AoE and, the intervention on Kayle, the Shockwave and Orianna, which revolve a lot on team communication. Whereas Artesh's main champions are the Nidalee, the LeBlanc, and the Ari. They're all champions that are very, very easy to make plays with yourself, especially the LeBlanc and Ari being high burst assassins. So I actually think the playstyle is a little bit different. I think Artesh is more comfortable to rely on his own skill and pick up kills where he needs without relying on other people. And we do see a LeBlanc being took away from him. That Nidalee is actually banned by Nottingham, probably because of that last game. We saw they played it top to great success. Renekton being took away in the top lane, LeBlanc, Ziggs, and Kassadin all getting took away from the mid, and Jinx as the final ban as well.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised to see both Nidalee and Ziggs banned out. Both champions that Artesh does like to play. But we are going to see the LeBlanc countered. And Artesh recently, it's one of his main champions playing LeBlanc in that mid lane. So, we've seen already 4 bans aimed at the mid lane. So it's definitely going to be a lane to be focused on this game.
Yeah, Techno is one of the best Renektons in the UK as well. He's so good with that Renekton, especially in the NUEL. I've played with him in duo queue and spectated him in fives, and just watched Nottingham before, and he's so strong in that Renekton. It is his most consistent champion. So that is definitely a target ban to Techno, and that Jinx as well from Nottingham's a target ban for Defunct. However, as we saw last game, Defunct is definitely not unbeatable on the Jinx. If we just quickly now go for the picks, Danexo locking in Thresh straight away. Being new to support, Thresh is a champion that's very easy to make plays with, very easy to grasp, but it's quite hard to master. But Danexo, because he's played this AD carry role for so long, he knows the mechanics a support should do. And straight away to counter that, or not to counter, but against that, we've got the Leona been locked in, and we've got an Elise jungle again.
Yeah, and the Leona Thresh is one of those matchups that's like, it does counter him in that late game, but in the early game, it's almost like you're countering yourself. So Thresh has a massive advantage until
definitely.
Until the late game, until that passive starts to scale up for Leona, and Leona starts to get those tankier items. But then once she does get those tanky items, once she's able to get the solar flares down and the eclipse on everyone on the enemy team, that sunlight passive starts to do so much damage, and she starts to really become a threat.
Yeah, and going back to Nottingham after them two, the Vi locked in. We talked about how strong Vi is, and Vi is one of RFI's most played junglers, so not at all surprised to see him lock that in. And Chadwick's Lucian. Chadwick's Lucian is his main. He's a diamond player, quite high diamond, and that is his main AD carry. So I really do expect some great plays coming out from him on that. I'm surprised that they let that go through. Nottingham actually thought that teams would ban that away. And going back over, Shardwing picking up the Caitlyn. So he was the one being aggressed against Caitlyn last game, but this game he's picked that up himself. And Stern Robo going for the Ariana, trying to make the team plays here.
Yeah, we are going to see possibly a Trundle locked in. We did see him hover Dr. Mundo there, but possibly opting not to go for that one. Maybe relevant to the Leona pick on the enemy team. If he can steal the stats when Leona has that Eclipse up, he is going to become so tanky, and also Leona will become fairly squishy.
Yeah, really nice pickup. Techno normally plays the tanky characters. He's got the Renekton, the Mundo, the Shyvana. They are his three most played champions, and that they fit directly into the meta. So I'm surprised he hasn't gone for any of them when they're all open, other than that Renekton. But he has been playing earlier in this week when we saw Nottingham practice a lot more of this Trundle to try and get the upper hand on his enemies that pick the tanky top laners. Manchester, as we saw, didn't go and to that meta last game though. They picked the Nidalee. The Nidalees took away this game, so we'll have to see if what they pick into that Trundle. And I briefly want to mention Artesh has locked in his Orianna. So as we said, he's more focused on these single, individual skill level sort of champions, the assassins, whereas Stone Robo has gone for this team play sort of champion. So we'll have to see how that mid lane goes down. And the Teemo locked in. Oh wow.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to see the Teemo in that top lane for Padrillion. This is going to be a very strange top lane. Quite often we do see a Tristana picked in against that Trundle, because obviously the explosive shot puts the dot on the enemy champion and reduces the healing they take, so able to slow down that sustain that Trundle has. However, Teemo will have a lot of poke and will be able to zone out Techno, so we'll be interested to see how that lane does play out.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that lane. I'm pretty sure Nottingham will be saying some words that we probably shouldn't say on here to themselves right now about that Teemo pick. I'm be surprised if they weren't all laughing and a little bit, just a bit hated at that pick. So we'll have to see how that pans out. Techno on that Trundle, it's not going to be a very easy lane for him just because of the damage and that Teemo can put down. And how safe he can get. He's got the speed boost to get away, and his passive obviously turns him invisible. So even though Techno's got the pillar to try and slow him down, Teemo isn't the worst champion to actually go up against the Trundle in terms of mobility, and it's going to be really useful for this poke.
Yeah, definitely. And how do you feel these team fights are going to go out when we get to sort of the mid game kind of time? How do you feel? Which team would you say has got the better comp?
I actually like both teams here. I think it all comes down to who engages and who lands the CC. I mean, if you go over to ACOG, they've got the Orianna, and the Orianna is great in team fights if she has someone to engage for her so she can follow up. Now, ACOG don't have much direct engage in terms of the tanks. They've got the Leona, so they can put the ball on Leona. If Leona lands the Zenith Blade and stuns someone and manages to get the Solar Flare and a decent amount of people, and if Orianna can follow that up with a Shockwave, then ACOG will destroy the fight. If they get like 3-4 people with that, then that's really going to be devastating. However, going over to Nottingham's team, they've got the Thresh with the death sentences. They've got Vi, who not only has her assault and battery, she's also got the Vault Breaker. Yes, thank you. She's also got Vault Breaker on her Q, which is a lot shorter cooldown than an ultimate to shut down people. So I think they both have really great potential here, and obviously that Ari as well. If they can pick someone off, Nottingham can, then they'll get the upper hand. So we'll have to see how not only the mid lanes pan out, but also how the engage goes down. I think it does come down to either the Vi landing a really nice ult, the Leona landing a really nice engage, or Artesh picking someone off. I think that's what it will come down to.
Yeah, and I think the key thing to notice is while Nottingham have a lot of single target CC. They've got the charm, obviously. They've got the assault and battery from Vi, and they've also got the death sentence from Thresh. ACOG's team is much more down to area of effect sort of stuff. So you've got the Piltover
Yeah,
Peacemaker
exactly.
from Caitlyn. You've got the Solar Flare from Elise. Solar Flare from Elise. You've got the Solar Flare from
That
Leona.
would be a bit OP, I
That would
think.
be
Yes.
ridiculous, wouldn't it? And obviously you've got the Shockwave from Orianna. So they're going to be much more orientated about getting a full-on team fight, whereas Nottingham are going to be trying to get those picks, trying to land those charms, trying to land those death sentences.
Yeah, but that Teemo top is going to be so annoying for Techno. I feel he's going to need a little bit of help. Obviously, Artesh is on the Ari. He's got a lot of potential to roam, but should probably focus this bottom lane. I mean, having the Teemo, it will force someone to do something, because if Techno gets shut down early from this Teemo, then he's going to need a lot of help either from this Vi, and if Vi's at top all game, then that leaves bot and mid open for Elise ganks every so often, and Elise has some really strong ganks. So I think the lanes are really highly going to evolve because of the champion selects around this top lane and this mid lane. If Artesh can get ahead and he can roam a bit and get some kills for the other lanes, then it will help Nottingham so much. So we'll have to see. The ones for me to watch here is going to come down to Stern Robo and Artesh in that mid lane.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see this mid lane matchup. It is going to be a battle of the ages, if you will. But also, I'm very interested to see how this bottom lane pans out, because Chadwick does have his Lucian, which we've heard is incredibly revered. But last time I saw Defunct play, he was playing that Lucian as well. And Defunct is a very, very good AD carry. I mean, they're both diamond level, so obviously they're both going to be incredible players. So
yeah,
I'm really, really interested to see how that bottom lane goes out.
Defunct's main AD carries are Jinx, Caitlyn, and Sewer. They're his top three most played, so he likes the champions that are quite in at the moment in terms of really great range. Jinx, Caitlyn, and Sivir all have great range on their spells. Sivir autos don't have that good range, but with the Boomerang Blade, she does a lot of damage. And obviously the Lucian on Chadwick, as you said, one of his most played champions, and that's the one that really got a name for him. He's one of the champions that Nottingham would have looked at him play on and thought, well, that they felt comfortable enough in Chadwick to make Dan Exo, their team captain, who's main AD carry since he started League about 2 years ago, go over to support. So the sheer fact that they feel confident enough for Chadwick to take over Dan Exo's position and to move him to support surely shows how much confidence they have in his skill. And on his best champion, I cannot wait to see what they do bot lane.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a lane to watch. And I cannot wait to see this Teemo versus Trundle match in the top lane. Techno versus Quadrillion. It's either going to go...
That.
I think it's going to be a bit of a stomp either way. I can't tell who's going to win it, but I don't think it's going to be a close lane regardless.
Yeah, all I know that it is troll versus troll in that lane. One actual troll and the other one just the troll in general. So we'll have to see how that lane pans out. It is worth mentioning, though, obviously Manchester being at the top in the championship points at the moment, if they win this tournament, if they come out on top, then they win the whole thing. No matter what place everyone comes next tournament, Manchester have won. But the fact that already after their first game they've lost to ACOG, that has got to knock their confidence. And if ACOG can do an upset, or another team can take this top position, then suddenly them championship points are going to be a lot closer. And come the next tournament, that first place is going to be up for grabs.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't want to say this too much, but I almost want that to happen just so the competition's that much more fierce.
Oh, of course.
If we do end up in a game for the first place, it's going to be so intense and everyone will be playing so hard. So I almost hope that happens. At the same time, obviously, I don't particularly want Manchester to lose, but at the same time, you've got to want those really exciting games.
Oh, of course, we are getting into the games now. I was speaking to Dan Exo earlier today, and he was telling me that Nottingham are feeling confident coming into this. They struggled, as I said, they had to fight for their position in the Super 8, and they only just won that against Scarred for Life, that's in the second division. That came down to the last game. That was a neck-and-neck game. I think it was like 50 minutes long. So the fact that they're here, they have to prove that they belong in the Super 8. And again, what better way to do that than to beat the team that just beat Manchester, especially with this new team comp. And what I was going to say, Dan Exo's comfortable with this team, and he says that they think that they can go 3-0 in this first week. And if they do that, how great would that be for them? I'm not too sure on the result of the last game, actually. We'll have to see. But they are all in this brush. They may be looking for a level 1 here.
I was still on the load screen until just now. I'm not sure what was happening there. But I am with you now. We're a minute in. And I don't know if we're going to see a level 1 invade here. All of Nottingham here going to be staying as a group, but I don't think we're going to actually see an invade.
No, they are backing away now. They did all group up in that river brush. Caitlin and Leona were keeping their eye out, though. So they did just back away from that, and they are going back to their normal lanes. Interestingly enough, Vi is starting her blue buff again on this blue side. So we saw this last game, and this, again, could mean that she's trying to concentrate on either this mid lane or this bot lane. And I think if she can get a gank bot or mid early and secure a kill there, that will relieve so much pressure on her later because of the aggression that Teemo is going to be doing in top lane. And if she can help the bot or mid snowball early, then she doesn't need to concentrate so much on that lane. And she can focus more on the lanes that's going to be struggling, which will, most likely, if played correctly, be this top lane.
Yeah, we are still having a little bit of video issues here, unfortunately. Not much as I can do about it currently. I will try and change the video settings slightly. I'll crack it on full screen and see if that fixes the problem. Hopefully it will. So we will be back into this game now. And so far, we're just seeing a little bit of CES in not too much aggression.
Yeah, definitely. Artesh has been a little bit aggressive in the mid, but Oriana have been able to throw that straight back at him, so quite an even trade there. The other lane that I want to watch as well is the bot lane, because Danexo, from the look of it, of how he's playing with Thresh at the moment, his position in lane, he really wants to land a hook here before Leona hits level 2. And if Chadwick and Danexo can hit level 2 before ACOG, then I fully expect them to go in and not have any mercy against that lane.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And it's one of those things recently in the bot lane is whoever hits level 2 first almost always go completely ham and try for those kills using that level advantage. And it's so important. But Techno actually taking a lot of damage in this top lane. The Ignite does go down from Padrillion. And the Ignite going down for Techno as well. But it looks like it may be a kill for Padrillion. The flash does come out for Techno. And I think he's managed to get away with that one. But very, very close fight.
Yeah, that poison not enough at level 2 to actually get any damage down, enough damage down to finish the kill there. The Teemo did start boots, so it didn't start Dawn's Ring or anything, which would have gave him a little bit of extra damage. However, it does force Techno out of lane, and he is already 70s behind him. Vi's coming down onto this Oriana now.
Yeah, unfortunately not going to be able to get quite the opportunity she wanted there. Did think she was going to go for that Vault Breaker, but unfortunately not going to be able to go for that. And we do see both bot lane compositions are now level 2, but neither team really too confident in going in. I really feel like they want to get that level advantage before they can go for the fight.
Yeah, they really want to play safe here. And Nottingham have just hit level 3. However, Elise is in the jungle. If they go too cocky here, they may end up making a mistake, but they are playing quite cautiously. And Vi is on her way down now.
I thought Zenogra was going to go for that then, but Elise has moved away. But if we can land a death sentence now, this could be a kill for Nottingham. We'll have to see. The Zenith Blade does go down. Chadwick is in a really bad situation here, but the death sentence... Oh, I meant the Zenith Blade. The death sentence not quite able to land onto Defunct, and now Zenogra in a really, really scary situation. The Ignite is ticking. The red buff is ticking as well. Don't know if he's going to be able to go down. He is going to go down. That's the first blood for RFI, and that is going to be first blood for Nottingham.
Yeah, Danexo doesn't need to land the death sentence there. Zenogra takes the bait, thinking he's got a really great chance of landing that Zenith Blade and trying to go aggressive, but unfortunately Vi was there, and RFI managed to get a great gank, picks up first blood for himself, cut the assist down onto Lucian and Thresh, so they still got the bit of gold, but Lucian was taken very weak, so he couldn't risk going forward trying to get that kill. But really nice pickup for Nottingham, gives them first blood, and on a jungler like Vi, who can build a bit of damage, that isn't too bad at all, because she can really help the momentum of this game.
Yeah, and in this mid lane so far, we've really not seen as much action as I was anticipating. Both teams kind of just trying to farm up. The game is still freezing regardless of what mode I put it on. I'm really sorry about this, guys. I'm not sure what is going on with my computer. I probably have to reinstall League. Do love that Adobe Air client. Shall tell us what's going on?
Well, Vi is actually going down. She does land the Q onto Teemo. Teemo's taken very weak, but the red buff, not enough to finish him off. It's just going to pop a few pots. He did have the level advantage onto Trundle, so nothing happening at the moment. Just an attempted gank on that top lane. Bot lane, Caitlyn's just been quite annoying on this Lucian. He is taking a little bit of poke from them Piltover Peacemakers, but not enough to force him out of lane or anything. Artesh narrowly missing a charm, and Ariana actually taking advantage of that and trading quite a bit of damage onto the Ari. So she is quite weak now, but still, again, can stay in the lane. And this Trundle now, with the damage coming out from Teemo after he's picked up this Doran's ring, it's very clear that he's starting to struggle a lot in this top lane. If he tries to CS, he loses a lot of health. Are you still frozen?
Still frozen. Yeah, for
right.
some reason.
Okie dokie, that's fine. Hopefully we'll sort that out for you guys, not to worry.
May have to restart
Trundle,
the client here.
That's fine. I can just jump onto the stream, if that's fine. So that's not a problem, guys. Don't worry too much about that.
Do you want to crack up the stream, and then we'll hopefully not have as many technical issues as I'm currently having. Really sorry about this, everyone.
I can do. Not a problem. I'll do that for you now, guys. Don't worry too much. Not much happening at the moment. We'll try and sort this out. We don't want you guys missing any of the action here, so sorry about that. Let me get that up for you now. Do you want me to do it now?
Whenever you're ready. I can't actually do much right now on my computer. Oh, it's actually now just unfrozen the second I managed to click off. But I will swap the stream over. So the stream will be back up in 2 seconds.